fucking Baltic. Man, his body warmer's fucking chunky as fuck. Okay.
Yep. Go for it. We are back and rolling. Welcome, Square Go Podcast. Woo. I am your host, Sandy Alexander Henry Charles Henderson.
The third. We discovered in the Japanese poster for Dick Dynamite came out, and it's called Big Dynamite. And there's a 3 after his name, so we're like, he's got that. He legit has that many middle names.
Yeah, I do actually.
So, and we're like, how do they know he's Alexander Henry Charles the Third?
Pretty noble for a guy for T-Hall. To my left, we have Ian Money Gordon, aka the Galton Ripper. And to my far right, we have Robbie Steed Davidson, aka Robert Dreadford. Nice. And joining us again is Garry Fraser, film director.
Bafta nominee. Bafta winner.
Fraser Blades was the one.
I like that one, man.
Okay. And if you haven't already, go back and check out the previous episode with Garry on it, because it is brilliant. Absolutely brilliant.
That was good a while ago.
Yeah, some time ago now.
Long time ago now.
That was when all that Zelensky stuff kicked off.
Yeah.
All done now. So this week, this month, what we're talking about is drug films, and this could be anything from the light-hearted sort of Cheech Chong, Harold and Kumar, a stoner comedy, all the way to sort of Requiem for a Dream, dark psychological mindfuck, like Money's favourite film.
Yeah, you'd already know my feelings on that.
So yeah, very broad spectrum. But we're going to get stuck right in, and I'm going to go, as if I was passing a joint, I'm going to go to the left, and we're going to go with Ian's number 1 pick.
Number 1?
Or, we'll start from the bottom. We did 3 or 2?
I'll choose fucking loads, but I said 2.
2 in an honourable mention.
Two in honourable mentions.
Okay.
Yeah, okay. So the first one I wanted to talk about, because we should have talked about it last year, was Kneecap.
Oh, shit.
Yeah. You seen Kneecap?
No, I've not seen it, but I need to see this.
It's good. It's like, I don't think Steed's seen it yet either.
No, I've not seen it yet either.
And I just stuck it on in December or something last year, and it's funny. It's
fucking amazing.
It's so fucking funny. But there's a couple of scenes, and in terms of, it's not a drug film really. It's a film kind of more about reclaiming the Irish language and using that in music, using it in hip hop and stuff like that. And it's based on, true story. The 3 guys that are in the band. But there's a few scenes in it. In particular, there's a moment where they take ketamine and Jerry Adams just appears in front of them. And there's loads of surreal moments like that. It just kind of, and it happens at times where you least expect it as well, because they'll just be sitting there listening to someone and then realising that they fucked up the dose or whatever that they've been taking.
Was it the real Jerry Adams?
It was the real Jerry Adams.
It was,
Yeah.
One of their heads just changed into Jerry Adams' head.
I seen something that was funny about him, like about, I don't know, was it Christmas time there, the clock was fucked, and he put something up on his Twitter talking about how the clock was broken, tossed this to be broken, and somebody replied back, I'm sure you could find somebody who can get a timer.
Aye, fair. So that kind of humour is running throughout Kneecap's film and music.
Yeah.
But it's really they've spearheaded a movement with the Gaelic and Gaelic languages, I think, and it's really it's taken hold. I mean, I felt it after I watched the film.
Yeah.
I felt guilty that I still spoke English, to be honest.
Yeah.
The language of the oppressor.
But do we speak English though? That's the thing.
Yeah.
Like, the Lowland Scots, like, I don't think there's one person in Fife that speaks English.
It's almost
Dundee,
a protest
it's a
language.
foreign language.
Yeah.
But so the colloquialisms that come with moose, hoose, bairn and stuff like that, it's no...
It's a blend of English, Gaelic and sort of Norse as well.
Yeah.
There's a lot of Norse in stuff.
Actually, Trainspotting was the first time I learned that words like Ken or Raj or Gaj or that were kind of like East Coast things, and people in Glasgow and Aberdeen and places like that. But Aberdeen maybe, but yeah, that was language they just didn't use.
Yeah.
It was, yeah. But yeah,
So, yeah, great choice. I kind of, yeah.
I was
is it
across
dr-
an island when it was announced that it was coming out and stuff like that as well. So
Right.
that was really interesting. Like being in Belfast when getting told that the film was coming out and
Yeah.
stuff like that. And I think I spoke to Irvin Welsh and he was saying that he was at a gig with them and you should check these guys out. So
Yeah.
fuck, you always get to the good gigs.
it's real anarchic feel to it, and really well made film as well.
Yeah, brilliant piece of filmmaking.
And,
Yeah.
and why do you think that the Irish get to celebrate working class culture and in Scotland we didn't?
Well, I mean, they came up against a lot of barriers to getting that film made. I mean, even getting an award. I think it was a Bafta they won. So
Yeah, I
the
think so.
filming, the funding that they got originally to make the film
Did they not
was
sue?
British, and they tried to withdraw it
Aye,
because
they
it was an
sued them,
anti-British British message.
I didn't realise that.
But they said they argued.
I mean,
the
I
case
realised
that
there
they
is an
live within
anti-British message.
they live within Britain, so their voices
Yeah.
equally
Yeah.
should be heard, and
Yeah.
they won that case.
Yeah.
So I mean,
10 grand I think they got.
yeah, and they donated it to a charity, a Catholic charity, half of it to a Catholic charity and half of it to a Protestant charity,
Brilliant.
which I thought was brilliant.
Yeah.
I'm sure if we tried to make a film like that, we would probably come up against the same roadblocks.
I think if you want to make a working class story, it's like it's got to be about a social justice story, like the post office thing, or like
Yeah.
you know, and it seems like that's the only way they'll fund it. It's because otherwise there's nothing to say, you know. And you're like, well, it's not just when people get fucked over that you've got a story to tell, you know.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm sure you've got experience telling your stories about going up against the British government.
I think so. But even like looking at the nobility that comes with people in the struggle, like it's so far removed from the offices of people that make funding that just you could go up to T Hall now and spend 4 hours and write a script, no problem. If you could get the wee pub there or this is going on here, and you know, but you didn't. As I say, it's that sort of culture thing. It's like we sort of lose that in this country when it comes to funding because there's a funneling system that starts happening. Usually if it's a working class story, either Ken Loach has to tell it or
Yeah.
the guy has to leave. You know, like the success is leaving to go to London or leaving,
Yeah.
like
Yep.
even in train squad, like leaving
Yeah.
to go
Yeah.
Yeah.
somewhere and leaving all the shit behind. That's why I think hip hop has become the not the dominant art form, but like certainly like for me anyway, the working class art form. That's
Yeah.
there, like even Loki's new album, the shit that he's talking about, or the stuff that other people like. There's certain things that's like okay, that's where that space is now taken up compared to like the movie making, which is sad.
Yeah.
Well, Kneecap is predominantly about hip hop as well. I mean, they are a hip hop group,
Yeah.
so yeah.
We've got James McAvoy. He's doing his
Aye.
things.
Sybil and Brains
Yeah,
thing,
Syllable
Bain.
and Brains, yeah. Like,
Brilliant
'cause-
story.
Yeah,
brilliant story.
because I know Gavin Bain, and he's on a track on Dick Dynamite as well.
Oh yeah, he raps on the theme song.
Yeah,
for Dick
yeah,
Dynamite.
he does, yeah. Which is good, but in his case, there's a lot of hate towards
Yeah,
them
for that
too,
American
because
accent.
the American accent, yeah.
Yeah.
There's a lot of folk that were like that. They're not classed as Scottish
rappers.
Yeah.
Wow.
It's a great story. It's
But
amazing.
they couldn't get anyone to pay attention if they were Scottish. So
Yeah,
it's like,
Yeah.
yeah.
Well,
You're
that was
fucked
at
either way.
Sheffield. When we were at Sheffield, their movie, the documentary, that was
Right.
on, that was getting premiered at the same time.
Uh-huh.
So that was quite interesting for me, obviously, sitting watching their film
Yeah.
and all that at the film festival. Brilliant story, though.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so we're going to move on to yours, Steed.
Well, number 2.
Number 2.
Fuck. I've given Garry a list of about 12 films, so I'm just going to pick the one that I like
Thanks to
most
you.
right now.
Okay,
It's very
good.
saying.
What's that up, or you got it?
No, it's I memorized it. Believe it or not. I'm going to go for Mandy.
Okay.
Okay, nice.
Mandy.
Mandy.
Oh, I need to see this. I've not seen it.
Nicolas Cage,
I've not seen it. I need to see
and
it.
it's
Budget $6 million.
is it?
It's a beast.
So they don't take Mandy's the girl in it. They don't take Mandy, but there's this crazy super hyper LSD that they all sort of take in it.
They call it Molly anyway, don't they?
Right enough,
Yeah.
aye. Weirdos.
We're the only one that call it Mandy, Scottish folk.
Got any Molly? Fucking. But just the whole vibe of it is just so tripped out. The music, how it looks, and when I was watching it for the first time. Yeah, but the thing was, I was sort of like, there's various bits that happen, and I'm like, what the fuck?
Yeah.
And I think it's amplified by how it's shot, how it looks, and just the overall.
Even the poster kind of like the strong colour tones, they're present in the movie as well. The sort of
and he has the typical Cage rage.
Yeah.
Like there's a one take shot of him in his pants in a t-shirt, just going mental in the bathroom, and it looks like a Kubrick bathroom.
Yeah.
And it's just all in one take, him like screaming, down in vodka, popping pills, just like for fucking ages. It is just, that scene is just brilliant. And I know a lot of people don't like Nicolas Cage and think, oh, it's a typical Nicolas Cage film. It's totally not. And it's, I think it's magical.
How could you not love that anyway?
But it's weird. It's weird because some people are like, I like. There was one that came out shortly after, and people were like, oh, this is going to be the next Mandy. Oh, it was done by, is it Thingamy Stanley, the guy that made Hardware and stuff that I think he got cancelled, Me Too'd or whatever. Richard Stanley. It was
with
like
Nicolas Cage.
Yeah, it was H.P. Lovecraft, and I thought it was fucking crap. So there's like some people are like, I love that film, and they hate Mandy, and I'm like, that film's shit, but Mandy's amazing. So
Very trippy film.
I guess, yeah, like some people think it's too weird and tripped out and stuff to actually to like it. But the dude Panos Cosmatos, his dad was George P. Cosmatos or something. So he made, it's like Rambo 2 or something, and I think he had stuff to do with Conan and stuff. So obviously this guy's grown up to be a filmmaker off the back of his dad, which is, I think his stuff's amazing. And he did one of the what's his name? Guillermo del Toro, the
Cabinet of
Cabinet of Curiosities, yeah. And
okay. Yeah.
Right,
I remember you talked about this, and
I rewatched. So the thing is, when I watched this one, I also had help. But this whole thing, his episode is like super tripped out and stuff, and I was watching it like, oh my god, this is fucking amazing. This is so fucked up. And there's like various bits of it. They're literally got, you know, those Chinese buffet tables you get that spin round. Like,
that episode was him.
Yeah,
that was my favourite episode.
But they're getting all
made it
different
to that
drugs and
episode
stuff.
yet, yeah.
So they're all getting mashed, and it's like their sort of perspective of it. And then when they discover the entity or whatever it is, it just goes batshit. And as soon as it finished, I was like, I think me, Harry, and Val, we all said that was all at the same time, and I was like, fucking amazing. And they were like laughing. I was like, no, that was shit. And they were like, but it was so you. And I'm like, oh, you kind of redeemed yourself saying it was shit by saying it was so me. But there's like some of it's like pure 80s music and like the cars and stuff.
Brilliant.
Yeah, it's,
B-movie type. Nah.
I wouldn't, maybe, I don't know, because I fucking love B movies.
Yeah,
That's
I'm going to watch it tonight.
So you've not seen that one?
No, I started watching the Cabinet of Curiosities, and I had that in my mind. That was the one bullet in the chamber, and I knew it was going to come along. But I watched 2 or 3 of them, and I was like, these are okay, but you know, some of them were a bit of a chore to get through. So I'm going to go back, and I'm just going to go straight in and watch that.
I always get shit on this podcast as well. Like, be like, Steve's got such shit taste in films for a film director. So, fuck you.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure that's me that's saying that.
Trolling our own fucking page.
Okay, Gary.
Well, what did I have? Requiem for a Dream.
Yes. So we did an episode where it was films that you're meant to love, but you secretly hate.
Yeah.
And Ian chose Requiem for a Dream. So you two can have it out on this one.
I just love it. I like the I don't know, when that camera in some of the positions that it goes to, I just feel like, we're not used to seeing these film worlds for these perspectives, and I feel like when you watch it, it takes you on a trip. And I thought that was a big toss up between Requiem for my one. I was like Requiem for a Dream or Spun with Mickey Rourke. Both of them are slowly shot, micro lenses, random shit happening. Kind of go to watch it again and again. But yeah, I loved Requiem for a Dream. What's the guy's name again that directed it?
Darren Aronofsky. Yeah. So you think are you talking about from a realistic portrayal of what heroin use is like?
Nah, not really. No, I struggled with that as well, because when I was thinking of drug film, the umbrella for drug film meant I was like, I was cursing myself in the car. I went, it's True Romance, and I was like, fuck, is that a drug film? No, that was a suitcase, and I was and I was like thinking, I was like, movies that are done on addiction, is that.
Yeah.
So it was weird to try. Like I feel like Cheech and Chong isn't a drug film, whereas Trainspotting is a drug film. Do you know what I mean? As in the genre of this is a drug film. So it was hard for me to define what it actually was to be a drug movie.
Anything where drugs drive the plot, I think.
Yeah, it's maybe similar to our Christmas episode. So our Christmas episode, we had 3 categories. There was movies that you associate with Christmas that were always on TV as a kid, James Bond, Star Wars and that. And then you had Christmas movies, actual Christmas movies like the Santa Claus or whatever. And then you had movies that you could remove the Christmas element and it would still function as a movie, like Die Hard and stuff like that. So you could say the same for drug movies. Do you know what I mean? There's ones that it has to function with the drugs, and then there's ones that you could remove that element and it would still function as a film. So
like even Natural Born Killers, like that was like, that's a drug movie because they were taken like, but then I was like, no, the crew were on magic mushrooms. So they were on magic mushrooms, and I was like,
because I thought about Apocalypse Now as a kind of drug film, like, but you know, it predominantly it's obviously a Vietnam War film, but without, you take the drugs out of that movie and it wouldn't be the same movie.
Well, there we go.
Oh,
Top.
That wasn't me.
Said it.
I said it. Yeah, 31 million. So you could have made 5 Mandys for that.
So do you want to quickly remind us why you don't like
Requiem for a Dream?
Yeah.
I've probably got more reason to dislike it than you, but I do kind of like it.
I've seen it about 3 times, and I think the first time I watched it, I remember like being quite, you know, it was powerful, and I remember thinking, you know, Jesus, that was a heavy film, like, and then I went back and watched it again because I'd remember the music being powerful, I'd remember the shots and everything, but it just makes me feel so cold, like, and I know that like that's the point. It's not supposed to be a kind of happy film, but it's like I feel like the characters just get so shat on. Like I feel so bad for his mum and his girlfriend, and like
you feel there's a detachment from you and the characters.
Kind of, yeah. Like, or from the director and the characters, even. Like, I feel like it's almost like the director didn't want you to have empathy for them, because of where they end up, and it's like, I don't know, it's like an RSPCA advert seeing like a tortured puppy or something. It's like, we're going to try and get you to care about this, but you're not going to end up feeling good about it. You know?
And what was the experience on the third viewing?
I don't think I made it through to the end.
I got 15 minutes on. This is shite.
Yeah. No, it's like,
the end's
like
the
I could
best
appreciate. I could appreciate like the performances and stuff, and particular the story was mum like being addicted to, it was like amphetamine and stuff, because she just wanted to get on it was Jeopardy or something like that.
She was waiting for that call.
And like I liked that he was telling parallel stories that showed addiction from different points of view. You know, I liked all that, but it just so rough.
I can't remember.
Too rough for me.
Did I talk about having that film on tour?
Yes, you did. Yeah.
So being on tour, I think it was in Europe one time when Exploited, and what he commandeered the back of the bus. There's like a living room at the front of the bus, living room at the back. He is the back one all himself. The rest of the band crew have the front one. He couldn't sleep without the DVD of it, just the menu screen, and it was like a particular bit of music, and there was a subwoofer as well, which was underneath. I can't remember if it was my bunk bed or what. So it was just like when he's fucking sleeping, we're awake and vice versa. And like this thing was just like with the giant sub underneath a bunk. So, man, if I hear that,
reason to hate this.
No, I do like it. But that fucking piece of music, I'm like,
and you don't like Jared Leto, do you? Was it yourself? Not a huge fan.
Not a huge fan.
I don't think you're meant to like his character in that film anyway.
But then, like, I actually saw a thing about his cult today. You seen?
Yeah.
See, he has his own island, and it's like he actually looks like Jesus, white robes and everything.
Yeah.
And he's got an actual cult. It looks
scary.
It looks dangerous. Yeah. You know.
We'll wait and see on that one. We'll find out, I'm sure. So my film is I'm like yourself, I put in more than the 2, but I'm going to go with Human Traffic.
I nearly.
Yeah. So
is that ecstasy?
Yeah, predominantly.
It's a bit of everything.
It's a bit of everything, but yeah, I mean, It's a wee tiny bit before my time when I went to university, but it perfectly summed up what life was like, sort of between 18 and 26 for me, where the most exciting thing that was happening was the weekend, and we couldn't wait to go and get eckied and go and see a DJ, and that was pretty much my life. It was like all I gave a fuck about. No one liked their job. We were all just working for getting nutted.
Yeah, shite being Scottish.
So I think Human Traffic's like, yeah, it just summed that up perfectly.
Yeah,
and even all the characters and even the little side characters that come in and out. It's like,
because there was that in Twin Town that came out after Trainspotting, and they were, I think, affected by that because people were like, "Oh, this is just a rip-off of Trainspotting," but I think it was good in its own right.
Right, and it wasn't particularly bleak. There isn't really a story.
Yeah,
It's just a night out. They just
Well, things go pretty badly for Danny Dyer.
I mean, he has a realisation that he should probably knock it on the head.
Yeah,
It's life and death stuff.
yeah,
It's not like
true.
Requiem for a Dream.
It's not like that.
Or Trainspotting. He just kind of has a bad come down, and he's like, maybe I should reassess
I remember
my
feeling
life.
bad for it. I remember thinking, "Ooh, fuck this," that's
I'm
good.
sure that's all that happens to him.
Maybe you're right.
He spends loads of money on a sex line when he's at his nut. It's softcore, right?
They've all been
Okay.
there.
I mean,
Howard Marks is in that film.
yeah, very briefly.
I've
He's
got a
joined
phone call
politics.
for him.
Yeah, really?
And I done my creative writing thing. So there was a couple of dodgy guys from Liverpool up here, and they knew him. And then they would put him on the phone, and he says, "This wee guy here, he's away to college and he's doing his writing thing and all that." And he came on the phone. I can't remember what it was, like 5 minutes speaking to him, but I was like,
Yeah.
"Fuck me, it's Mr. Nice on the
Oh,
phone."
Yeah, that's crazy.
Crazy. Aye.
He played at the Path in Kirkcaldy as well.
Did he?
Aye. Like,
I saw him do a stand like a spoken word thing at Tea in the Park. But,
right.
yeah, the Path.
Aye, the Bath Tavern, aye.
Yeah,
Mental.
His movie was quite good. That was a good.
yeah, Mr. Nice. Yeah, it was good. The Rhys Ifans.
Yeah.
So he does one of the best scenes in that film, the joint spiff politics. Yeah, and it's so spot on.
He like materializes. Doesn't he?
Yeah.
Just suddenly appears
Yeah.
when this dude's about to pass his joint, and it's just about which direction he should pass the joint in.
And everyone's trying to like sort of influence where the joint
Aye.
goes and that.
Yeah,
It's brilliant. Aye, and it's a moment in time for drum and bass culture and all that was happening, which is now coming back round again. All the youngins are listening to drum and bass, and I'm like,
on TikTok.
fuck,
It's
it's
been
been
saying TikTok.
it's been 20 years. That's like we're that old now. You know what I mean? Well, yous are a bit older than me.
Thank you for
You had to go
Aye,
there.
fuck you,
I have
watching
to at least
TikTok,
once an
Bairn.
episode.
I was
I'm
beginning
still-
to like you.
Come on, show us your TikTok dances then.
I'm still too
show
old
the
for
viewers.
TikTok. I was actually just on a TikTok from a
See?
restaurant job the other day because the youngins are doing TikTok. I was fucking mortified.
We twerking again, aye?
I'm the one that drinks too much coffee or something. You can check it out in your own leisure. It's so fucking cringe. Anyway, right. Moving on to your number one, I believe.
Or should we do honourable mentions and then
first.
go on to our number
Yeah.
ones?
That's a good shout.
Yeah.
As I said, I don't have any that I can, but I will think honourable mentions if you want to jump in at any moment.
I've got fucking loads, Gary?
Yes, you do. Took me a while.
Aye, you would think. No, I'm not saying nothing.
You just got Gary making graphics in case you mention stuff now.
Harold and Kumar was.
Oh, yeah, brilliant.
Like,
Good.
You
I've
seen
still
that,
not seen
Gary?
that.
Yes, but I think I was stoned when I watched that.
Right.
Well, that's that. You're meant to be. You're meant to be.
There's one that I thought was miles better than. Was there three? There's like White Castle, Go to Jail.
Guantanamo Bay.
Yeah.
Listed
Is that
on the
the?
screen.
Yeah. Oh, there we go.
Oh, you're on it, Gary.
But I thought there was one that was miles better than the other ones, and I just thought they were like very likable, and I thought they were actual funny.
So, what's his name? The actor that plays Kumar went on to work for Obama.
Yeah,
In the Obama
got a job in the White House.
administration.
Yeah.
So random.
Yeah. He was in House for a bit as well.
Mental.
No, they're all good. They're all good. Even the 3D one was all right. There was a 3D one.
Right, maybe
I can see that, a very 3D Christmas.
Yeah, 3D Christmas one.
Mental.
But that's one of the best. I mean, along with How High, I think that's one. That's probably one of the.
Oh, was that Method Man, Redman? Aye,
But maybe the film I've seen the most in my life because it was always on.
When you
when-
can't remember anything about it. What is that?
yeah, it's always on when you're on a come down and you're all sad.
Friday as well.
Yeah.
Friday,
Friday.
brilliant.
Aye, yeah.
I met the Worm, the guy.
The
Big Worm.
Aye, I met him. I was in a nightclub in Trinidad, and I was wasted, and like the guy was he's like big worm from Fridays over there.
You got knocked the fuck out.
And I was like, no way, I'm going to go speak to him, because I was like, my nut, I didn't care. And like, I can't remember anything, but everyone was like, what the fuck are you saying? And I was like, I don't know. And they're like, how? And he was like, you had him crying with laughter all night. And I was like, fuck. And I couldn't remember a single thing. But he was at a comedy festival there, actually. And Trinidad was quite religious. And I think because he said the F word, he got kicked out and kicked off. So he went to this nightclub called Coconuts. And that's where I met him.
All right.
And I'm not saying coconuts instead of the C word like I usually do. I mean actual coconuts. Those motherfuckers broke my video camera as well. Took my video camera when I went to stay there, and they wouldn't let me take it into the club. And I think they just chucked it in the dressing room, and it broke from then on.
Did you send them a strongly worded email?
I called them coconuts.
So we just throw in random ones into the pot for the honourable mentions.
I could do.
Kids was
Oh man,
yeah.
fuck.
1995 Larry Clark's Kids.
I've not seen it.
Have you know, dude? See, the thing for me is right. It sounds kind of horrible. I remember it coming out, and like growing up, I was making skateboard videos and stuff, and through Edinburgh a lot and all that, and I was kind of like, oh, this is just us. This is just what we do. And like, see, when I rewatched it like a couple of years ago or something like that, I was like, this is fucking horrible.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I know what you mean. Like, I remember there was a lot of controversy around it, and I was watching it thinking I was going to be shocked, and then I watched it thinking, like, I wasn't shocked. But then I think if I watch it now as an adult, probably.
Yeah.
There's so much stuff that you just wouldn't get away with now. We'd be actually doing it. But the underage sex and the lassie having AIDS.
Yeah.
Fuck me. Yeah. But I like.
I always remember the scene where they take the guy to bits with a skateboard.
That's brilliant. That was like Bristol Square, really.
Sounds so uplifting, this film was. What the fuck?
Oh, it's not.
So dark. You thought this was your normal life? Well, you watched that and thought, that's my life. Growing up in Kirkcaldy.
Being a kid up with a skateboard.
Yeah.
Wait to see my early films. No, that sounds fucking terrible.
It sounds hardcore, man.
But what I liked about it was I thought it was all improvised, and it wasn't. It was all scripted.
All right.
So I watched it first, and I thought I didn't think consciously, this is improvised. But when I started making movies and I understood what improvisation meant, I thought, that. And I watched that again, and I was like, this was obviously improvised. But it just got a group of kids who were already pals, workshop with them, but gave them the dialogue and all that stuff. So I was like, that's fucking like. So you would think it's so emotional that you think, they've let them get away with murder with dialogue or whatever, but they've not. They've actually just gave them scripts and stuff like that, which was great.
But with them, a lot of them being themselves, sort of thing, but then there's like a handful of them from there. You know, I don't think they were actors or anything.
None of them were actors.
But then
They
it's
went on.
Rosario Dawson. Is it Chloe?
That one, aye.
and one of the guy that was in one of the Friday films as well. He was the main guy pasting the guy with the skateboard. I'm sure he's in one of the Friday films as well.
Right.
So I've got another honourable mention. I mentioned it on the previous episode. Is Climax.
Oh yeah.
Is there a graphic for it, Gaz?
That Gaspar Noé.
And is it him again that made that other one, Into the Void? Because
I don't know, but this is very tonally similar to the thing you were talking about, the Cabinet of Curiosities one.
Right.
Well, visually similar, not tonally similar, because it's fucking mental. It's a bad trip. It's just a bad trip. It's a dance troupe, come back off tour, someone spikes the punch bowl, everyone drinks it, and it all just goes very tits up. But I love it introduces the DJs. It has a second credit sequence where it introduces all the DJs that are going to play the soundtrack to the film. Right. So it comes up like Daft Punk, Aphex Twin, and then the drugs kick in.
Right.
It's fucking mental. I don't know if any of you have seen it.
No. I am. Yeah.
You're not going to feel good. You're not going to feel good watching it. But
you make it sound amazing.
Yeah.
Like you think, right, it sounds like a night out. Daft Punk, Aphex Twin, amazing.
No. Well,
there's definitely two categories of drugs films emerging here, because there's like Kids and Requiem for a Dream and stuff that do not make you feel good.
No. I mean, Human Traffic, brilliant banter, quotable, laugh out loud, funny. But that's not like that. But cinematography-wise, well, like the camera, huge camera moves, long one-ers, and so good, so creative. highly recommend. But I mean, I've not even watched his first film, Irreversible. But I don't want to.
I wouldn't even bother.
Nah,
It's fucking horrible.
So yeah, I imagine that
He's not going to come on the podcast now.
Steed, you talk shit about my film.
I mean, we've had enough trouble trying to get Werner Herzog on.
Oh, I don't know. Fucking hate that guy.
And James Corden stood us up like 3 times.
Yeah, man.
any
need to stop
more
talking about these
honourable mentions?
Scarface would be kind of an obvious one. Like, hard not to give props to that.
Yeah.
There's a great. Oh, someone has. There's a great.
Mr. Honourable Mention here.
Yeah. There's a great mushy scene in Midsummer. Have you seen that?
Oh yeah.
Oh, I was trying to think of the French movie where they're heroin addicts and they rob the banks. It was made in the 90s, like 85.
Killing Zoe.
That's the
Yeah,
one.
Yes, that I loved that, and that was on my honourable mentions list. I think in the back of my mind, just for the scene where he's like, I can't mind what he's trying to give him, but he's trying to give Eric Stoltz something, and Eric Stoltz is like, no. It's like, but you must.
But it's based off of real shit, because I think Roger Avery, who's Tarantino's writing partner, I think Tarantino, after Reservoir Dogs, went to Amsterdam to stay and to write Pulp Fiction, and Roger Avery went to France to do something similar. But all the people he met were all heroin addicts, and like, so a lot of these bits was all based off real shit. All these people and everything. And plus, what's his name? Jeremy, porn star.
Ron
Jeremy. He's in it.
Oh right. He did some acting, didn't he?
He's like as soon as they rob the bank, he's the security guard. He's the first person he gets shotgunned.
Right.
Aye.
Any more?
Yeah, I've got loads. Gary, what else have I got?
With Neil.
With
Neil, right?
Like,
Yeah.
Could you class
That's-
With Neil and I mean, it's...
Yeah, you can, because I think most of the film anyway is driven by substance abuse in some form. Like when he drinks the fucking meths, at the beginning of the film, and there's the great skinning up scene as well, where he's talking about the Camberwell carrot. Yeah, absolutely.
Cool.
I love that film.
I think I've got so many, we might have to fly through it. Yeah, let's go for another one.
Lightning round. Sicario, yeah.
What a movie,
yeah, drug film.
Yeah.
See, I usually, like, when I say drug film, I just think of the protagonist being on drugs. You know what I mean? You've kind of...
Drugs being...
I don't know. This is a drugs film, really, because it's more. It's a film about the cartel, but it's more really about infiltrating the cartel so someone can assassinate someone.
I'm not mad about talking about Sicario, though. It's fucking brilliant.
Oh yeah, I watch it once a month.
Peak Deacons as well.
I think when it came out, I was like, there was so much hype about it. I was so disappointed. But then the second time I watched it, I was like, this is fucking amazing.
The scene where they go into Juarez, I think, is just one of the. Only there's movies like Seven and stuff that have had that effect on me of just being the dread that you feel.
I'm there.
Aye, and they see the bodies hanging up and stuff, and it's just tension all the way throughout that. And obviously they have the border crossing scene, and that's when they kind of relieve the tension. But oofed.
I've got 2 like honourable mentions, but they're in the same genre. Menace to Society, which you could say is a drug film, but New Jack City.
Yeah,
Because you could definitely see the wee guy was smoking crack and that and crying.
yeah.
Can't remember his name. One of the
It's been
comedian.
years since I've seen.
It was his, Wesley Snipes.
Yeah,
Wesley Snipes. But that was the start of that type of
Yeah.
genre movie as well. Brilliant.
I've not watched Menace to Society in years, but I remember loving it. Even my dad, he was like, "Oh, the end, they come up and they're just pasting each other." Is there not one of them is like a real shit? He's a real baddie.
Old Dog.
I've not seen it in years, but
I'm not going to try and pronounce it. I'll end up saying the N word, but like, the dialogue is just like brilliant.
yeah. I'm not sure. Is that the Hughes brothers?
Yeah, but they turned out to be cunts because I'm a dead Tupac type of person, and Tupac had a part in that, and then apparently he went and smashed up. So that fucked up my Menace to Society experience. Because obviously Ice Cube's in it, Tupac had a part in it, and then they kicked Tupac out, and then he went doing me a baseball bat and set about one of the cars.
Right.
I was a dead Tupac fan at the time. Like, I couldn't speak to people who'd like Biggie for a good few years after all that shit. So
They do Dead Presidents as well.
Yeah,
brilliant.
that is. Well, I guess there's drugs in that. I guess in Nam, and then what's his name? Is it Chris Tucker?
Yeah.
Chris Tucker's out his dish. Aye,
Yeah.
that's a great film as well. But then, they made it was the Denzel Washington one. I guess I must be a second time guy. Where he's
American
blind.
Gangster.
Book of Eli.
All right, okay.
Oh yeah.
Like some of the first time I watched it, I was like, yeah. Second time I watched it, I was like, this is fucking amazing. Like one of the
Just spoiled
shootouts. One of the shootouts is like the cameras is an all-in-one thing that's going into the house, through the house, out the windows and everything. It's so well done.
Okay, so we're going to go to your final pick, your number one.
I don't know, but I might have
still got more.
Have I got any more?
right.
Wait for Steed to uncover every single drugs film ever made.
Oh no, that's my number one.
There you go. Well, we've gone that direction.
Yeah, we've never stuck to a format once. Yeah, it's all good. Gary, we all make mistakes, mate. We all make mistakes. It's
Yeah.
all good.
We're here now. Shall I talk about?
Yeah, go for it.
Just I remember growing up and like, oh yeah, is he not strawberry?
I can't
All right.
remember.
Yeah.
I mean, again, like, I don't think I've seen Up in Smoke when I have been straight enough to remember.
Yeah. I mean, like, growing up and hearing people talk about Cheech and Chong and Cheech and Chong sketches and stuff, I was like, that sounds kind of shit. I was like, and then the age I got to and getting into a smoke. And then, actually, do you know what? There was Channel 4. It was like Weed Week or something. You remember that? This was like 94, 95 or something. And it was like every night of the week, every program, and there was like a film every night that was all about weed. And Cheech and Chong was. I remember. I videoed it. I recorded it on fucking Betamax. I still had a Betamax in the 90s, just because the quality was better, picture quality, sound. And
Was
like
that
just
the Channel 4 week before Cake Week?
and I got checked neck. So and I remember watching it, and like me and a couple of mates, and we were like high as shit, 15, 16 or whatever, and it was the funniest thing ever. It was just like, this is amazing. And a van made out of weed. It's so stupid, it's amazing.
And it spawned so many films.
But that was the first one.
Yeah.
And plus my Uncle James, R.I.P., he was literally the Fife Cheech. He looked like him, legit looked like him as well. Maybe not as Mexican, but
So without that film, we couldn't have had How High, Harold and Kumar. The list goes on.
yeah,
So,
totally.
it was the genesis
Create a
moment.
genre.
Yeah.
Then there's a new one coming out, Cheech and Chong's last movie. It's a documentary. The trailer just dropped.
Well, I like seeing Tommy for Cheech and Chong, because sometimes I see him on random shit.
Yeah.
He looks healthy, and I was like, could that mean I can keep smoking weed? Because Tommy's a good old age now. He seems to have
He's
his
in that
scribbles
70s show or something.
something like that.
Yeah.
And I was like, okay, I can keep
I mean,
smoking
Snoop Dogg's got to be pushing 70 or something now.
No, he's 35.
He looks like 35.
To get that medical stuff.
Aye.
We had a tour driver actually that he drove for Snoop Dogg as well, and he said he was so powerful from the weed, he slept with an Uzi under his pillow, like on the
He
bus.
seems so chill all the time. It's one thing with the weed, it always made me paranoid, and I was always jealous of people like
I thought
Snoop
you
Dogg.
meant the tour driver. So, this guy's going to fucking get me.
So, money, we'll go.
Yeah, I mean, this is quite a predictable choice, but I chose Fear and Loathing in Las Vegas.
Oh.
That's your second
Mainly.
As your second one?
No, that's his first.
It's your number one.
As one
Yeah.
of my first or second, I'm not sure. But yeah, I mainly chose it, to be honest, because I absolutely love Hunter S. Thompson's writing, and I'd read the book and I'd read other stuff that Thompson had written, and like I appreciated the commitment to just making a film about a bender as well, because it shouldn't work. You
There's
read the
no
book,
plot, is there?
Nah, and there was obviously no plot and because he was sent to cover a race, and I don't think they really intended for it to be as big a bender as it was, but they just obviously filled a boot full of drugs, and then they got there and it just became something. And so the gonzo journalism thing that kind of emerged from that, just about putting yourself in the middle of the story and then just making the story happen, it was. That's what it was about, I guess. It was about that and the American dream and stuff like that. But yeah, it should be unfilmable. But there's so many scenes in it that make me think, like, how did Terry Gilliam pitch this to a studio when they're like surrounded by lizards and stuff? And at one point, Hunter S. Thompson's in the film as well, and walks past him, and he's like, there I am. And Johnny Depp, I think, had worn, because he spent a bit of time with Hunter S. Thompson, so he was wearing all his clothes. He'd just gone into his wardrobe and dressed himself. So this is like, yeah, genius. And Benicio del Toro is like so good in that film.
Johnny Depp's like fully dialed in. He is him.
Yeah,
it's wild. Like the voice in it, like it's crazy. Like,
I remember when it came out, it got shown at the Adam Smith Theatre. I don't know if it was an actual like early preview of it. I'm sure it came out like 2 weeks after that or something, like general release. The Adam Smith used to get stuff like weird and art house stuff and that. But I remember going in, and I was maybe like, I don't know, 10 rows from the front or something, and I remember turning around looking back, and like the whole it was full. It was full. The whole audience was all old heads, like from band, like fife bands and stuff. Every single person, like I can't remember if it was with my dad or not, but like obviously I recognised so many people from my dad, hanging out with my dad and working with my dad. I was like, fuck, there's that guy from that band, innit? All fucking old acid heads, stoners, you name it, the whole fucking crowd. And like even after it was such a great vibe, because like all these people were all together in the same room and in the foyer and stuff, and all talking about it and stuff. So I've got fun I think I enjoyed that more, not more than the film, but it was just an amazing atmosphere and all these amazing cool people in one place. It was super cool.
So many memorable scenes and set pieces.
Yeah, this is when they take ether.
Yeah, when he becomes the demon with the huge boobs. Yeah, me and my brother still quote that all the time. It's like, Jesus Christ, nice tits, man. So good.
And he wakes up and they've got the lizard tail strapped in and stuff. And the apartment's all like,
you took too much. You took too much. Too much.
I was even watching Rango with Ava the other day, and I'm sure because that's Johnny Depp as well.
Yeah.
But there's even a bit. Hunter, like,
there is a Hunter S.
Hunter S. and what's his name? He's accountant.
Yeah, his lawyer.
Yeah, and they drive past in the car, and it says like, "Fuck, there they are."
That'll come to me.
Yeah.
Hey, Gary.
Is this number one spot time?
Well, this is a hard choice, and I feel like it's probably going to change again tomorrow. But anyway, it's the Basketball Diaries.
Oh yeah, Jesus, yeah.
DiCaprio.
Yeah.
It was good, hard hitting, pretty on the nose, great. I probably maybe one of the first times I actually watched something, I went, oh, that's definitely how you get a habit. It's when he's explaining it, like taking something on a Thursday, taking something on a Saturday, getting bored on a Sunday, and before you know it, the Monday becomes a Saturday, and then that habit develops. And Leonardo DiCaprio, brilliant, as an actor.
I remember going into that movie not knowing anything about it. I think it was years and years ago, and we watched it like thinking, I don't know what we thought it was going to be, but we didn't realise it was going to be as hard hitting as it was. And I remember, like, you know, all my mates were just all sitting there like that. Fuck.
It's been a long time since I've seen it, but it's just there's a public toilet scene that stands out.
Yeah.
Actually, I think you parodied in your fake trailer. Homo with a shotgun.
I never made that. I would never make something like that.
Yeah, you won't find that anywhere online.
Not anymore.
Not anymore.
I feel an edit coming up.
Cut that. But yeah, that is that film, I'm sure.
The Basketball Diaries.
And it's heroin, isn't it?
Yes.
Right. Wasn't sure. Because there's not a lot of American films. Well, it wasn't as. I don't think heroin quite had the same impact in America as it did in the UK, did it?
No, I think it became different. I think it was just a bit different. They're more the synthesized opioid thing that they got hit with, which is obviously the painkillers. Which I feel like I've got to be honest. I picked Painkillers, right? But I haven't seen the film. I was like, what's a shite thumbnail? Because I need to pick a shite film, which is obviously the. And then this morning I'm listening to a Joe Rogan podcast, and it turns out the director on the Joe Rogan podcast is the director of Painkillers.
Right.
Which is shit, because I was listening, I'm going, this is great, this guy's amazing, this is like, I think it's American Primeval or whatever it is.
Oh yeah.
So the stuff that I want to watch.
Yeah.
And then it says, yeah, we've also done a thing on Netflix called Painkillers, and I was like, fucking curva. I'm coming on a podcast tonight, say that's my shit film.
Oh shit! I don't know if I picked a clunker.
I haven't seen this.
But it was maybe because it was a Netflix thing. But yeah. Fuck
Yeah, I've not
Netflix.
seen that yet. And this is about prescription
Broderick.
painkillers.
Oxycontin.
And I didn't like him
Yeah.
that much.
Yeah.
I liked the thing with the monkey, but
Yeah.
I didn't really like him as an actor per se. So
I've seen something with Michael Keaton about OxyContin, which was good. I can't remember what it's called though.
Motley Crue said it was the most dangerous drug they took.
Yeah.
Oxy. Yeah.
they die off it like fucking.
Yeah.
It has made its way over here. I've heard of people getting addicted to it over here.
Oh, the steamers across here are on the lean and all that as well. Like they're in some
Yeah.
Atlanta thing. Let's get the Fanta and do that. I'm going, right, you're basically taking smack. Let's not
Codeine
sugarcoat it.
codeine mixed with.
Aye. So you're on diffs. Like I
Yeah.
might call them whatever, but I think we import that drug culture here as well. Like the Oxycontin or the what was it? Remember when I was listening to Eminem and he was talking about Vicodin and I was like,
Vicodin.
they sound
Yeah.
great. Vroom, vroom, vroom. I want a Vicodin. That sounds amazing. Vroom, vroom, vroom. And then now the available, I think the internet is just fucking taken away. I think you can order black tar heroin to your house by Thursday or some shit like that. It's just
Mental.
yeah, the internet is just completely boom.
Oh, what's that other American one that? Quaaludes.
Quaaludes,
Yeah, Quaaludes. Yeah.
That does seem very cool after Wolf of Wall Street. I was like, that seems.
But
like a
do
good
they
time.
not exist anymore?
I think it was a certain kind, or it was they were made in a certain way that
Yeah,
don't
they
exist.
only
yeah.
made a certain amount in the 70s or something, according to the film.
And
Right.
now the youths of the day are obviously on TikTok and they take the balloons.
Right.
Nos.
Yes.
Yeah, laughing
This
gas.
is- Yeah.
They
this is
sell
another-
that in American stores.
Aye, so that was an American thing that they were doing in the rap videos with the balloons, and now obviously they do them here as well.
You
So
see the people with the burns all up the side of their face and everything. It's crazy.
aye.
Sideburns.
Those ones.
So what was it about the painkiller film that you didn't like?
Well, Matthew Broderick.
Yeah.
But as I say, the confession had to come up that I didn't actually watch the film, and now I feel like I'm going to have to actually watch it because the director was speaking some sense, and I was like, hey, I like this guy. And then when he mentioned the painkiller thing, I was like, fuck, that's some karma for me coming on the podcast.
Fair enough.
So I've got to be honest and say I didn't actually watch the movie. I just didn't like Matthew Broderick and thought he was a bit of a dick. And Netflix, usually a thing that's called a Netflix movie
Yeah.
is shite.
Yeah.
Like most Netflix movies are shit, but I will need to check out this guy because he seems to be on a bit of a run. And the Western thing, that American Prime, maybe
Yeah.
check that out because
Have you watched any of it?
no. So now
It's-
I'm in for a good.
I watched. I think I'm on episode 3 or something. But it's just like the first episode. I was like, this is. But about 2/3 of the way through, there's this raid on the camp, and it's all shot in one take. It is. There's bits. I think they've obviously faked it, like some camera movements and stuff. But overall,
It's intense.
it's excellent. It's really well
Even
done.
the way he
like-
done his research with the Mormons and stuff, I was listening
Right.
to the way he put himself into the thick of things, and I was like, I can't remember the name of the director, but
Peter Berg, according to that.
so this guy, it seems to be like somebody who I'm going to now find out more about what he's been
Yeah,
doing
yeah.
and what he's done and stuff like that as well, just based on that podcast. But the research and all that stuff. But yeah, the Matthew Broderick guy and the Netflix thing, I was like, yeah.
So I'm going to move on to my one, and it's very predictable. But we've not talked about it yet.
Yeah.
So Trainspotting.
Oh, yeah.
Good.
Yeah.
Right. I'm glad somebody picked
Yeah.
it.
I think it has been mentioned.
Yeah, it's been mentioned. But yeah,
Yeah, it's a phenomenal film, I think.
Yeah.
and I mean, when I travelled a bit and I was abroad and I met people from South America and they were like, my favourite film is Trainspotting, and just people from all over the world.
Yeah.
That is part of Scottish culture that has made it to the four corners of the world. And up until, dare I say it, up until Braveheart, that might have been what people thought about Scotland. Everywhere.
Did you feel like this huge pressure working on Trainspotting 2, thinking like folk love this film, and normally you're like everyone's attitude is, oh, they're making a fucking sequel, are they? Did you feel like that going in, or did you just think we're gonna do a good job, because they did do a good job? It's
Well,
a good film.
Well, after we finished Mass, I remember saying to Danny, where's it getting shot this time? And he says it's getting shot in Glasgow. And I was like, why though? Like, it's an Edinburgh story, and he was saying, well, the crew are got to be travelling through. The crew, most of them are Glasgow based, are got to be travelling through. And I remember saying, but you're Danny Boyle, like if you want it in Edinburgh, it'll be in Edinburgh. And the next again day I got a phone call for the locations department saying, Gary, we're filming in Edinburgh now. We need to take us.
Guy, you've really fucked us over here.
pretty much. But so that's when I was like, I became confident. Like, no, this will feel better than the first one, or different to the first one. So I felt like there was maybe more sentimentality for the characters, and I felt like, I don't know, Ewan Bremner done an amazing job with Spud and stuff like that as well. Like the compassion that was there for the characters this time, I felt like I cared for them.
Yeah.
Compared to maybe the first one I didn't care for the characters that well, but I think the second one I cared for them. Yeah. I was in on it, you know. Yeah,
you can see the story in the characters much more when they're older, and whereas when they're younger, they seemed invulnerable, I think, in the first film. So you kind of, you weren't worried about them. You didn't think, like, and that's part of the attitude of the story. But yeah,
that's youth, and when you see them a bit older, you see them with the regrets and stuff like that as well. We've done a Trainspotting story, but we've done a scene on the Royal Mile where Begbie was chasing Renton. It was like 12 o'clock at night, and I had my wee boy with us, and Ewan McGregor walked up to my wee laddie, and he was sleeping, or half sleeping on this chair, and Ewan touched him on his shoulder, and he was like, "What's now, wee man?" And my wee laddie jumped up and went right into Ewan McGregor's face, and he was like, "My name's no wee man." And then Ewan McGregor turned and said, he's like, "I'm really sorry, like, I did not mean to." And I was like, "Don't worry about it." And then a couple of the crew were laughing. I had to pull my wee laddie aside and say to him, like, "You can't be having square goes with everyone Kenobi when Dad's at work."
Big Igor's there in the corner.
Exactly. But I agree. Like, I maybe looking back on Trainspotting 1, I feel like when you're at different stages of your life and you have different movies, like Requiem for a Dream can be a different thing at a different time. Kids can be when you start growing more into manhood. So like maybe now I'd probably look at part 1. Like, I'm more excited to see like the Blade artist and stuff.
I was going to ask you about that. I was going to ask you if you're.
I messaged them and I was like, any chance? But I don't know if anything would come up with that. But I think the Blade artist, and that is a series 6 1-hour episodes. I think, like, I'm looking forward to that.
Yeah.
Character doing his thing in that as well.
Yeah.
Awesome.
Yeah, good pick.
I'm glad.
Yeah, I'm glad you brought that up.
Had to be said.
I mean, it was for a generation, you know, like when it coming out. Like, I guess my group of friends and that, they weren't into heroin or that, but like I just remembered so much of it, the music, but like at the time everybody was also into Eckies as well, and it was just like it became a thing. You know, it was very generational sort of thing. And I remember also, like, I went to visit family in Canada, I think, shortly after, and people were like, "Oh, right, you're Scottish. Trainspotting, wow, that guy Begbie, he's crazy." And I was like, there's one in every pub. And they couldn't believe that. And I was like, yeah, there's
the buzz for doing part 2, like, you'd be on a street corner and there'd be like thousands of people watching you directing, and like, fuck,
it was huge news.
This is intense. Like, everywhere you go to a point where people go, "What he's making, is it tea time?" I'm like, "No, it's just a student film, mate." Just a student film.
We always say Outlander.
We always say Outlander. Like, and
walking about dressed in Nazi just making Outlander.
And it works. It gets people off the mat, like, "Oh wow, amazing," rather than "You're disgusting, dressed as Nazis."
But also,
we're not making anything. What are you talking about?
It would be good if Scotland got that excited about every production that was made here, because that isn't the case. I feel like.
You
know what I mean? There's no that. We've not got that belief that what he's making. Oh, we're making a great Scottish film, because that's what happens here. We all make great Scottish films all the time. It's a big deal when something like Trainspotting happens, but I'd love to get to the point where
like the homegrown stuff.
We're
just in championed. Like,
because otherwise it's Glasgow and it's like Indiana Jones 5.
It's shopped in. They're flying in the production for elsewhere, and
well, that's the problem with the film studios. The film studios are a great concept, but if 80% of your workforce come up from England to facilitate them, you didn't really have.
There's no industry.
And even when you look at the statistics, like 8% or whatever is working class in the film industry, like the margins are so low for representation that it's like the fact that there's even Scottish people managing to make stuff is incredible. Whether it's good or not is obviously up to an audience, but like the fact that people are actually making Dick Dynamite or the fucking supply and demand is like, but fuck yous, like, you didn't give me a studio, you didn't give me the means and resources, like, we will still find a way, because that's what good art is.
Yeah, I mean, Irvin messaged me once it was done. He was just like, well done. You know, it's just like, it's hard to finish any film, never mind an indie film with no budget sort of thing. And even with Ian's current film, The Good Man, it's like the amount of avenues we tried to go down to try and get funding, and we're sort of denied. And it's sort of like, well, so and so can get money, so and so can get funding, and it's just like knocking on doors and getting nothing. It's like, and I said one of the angles could be that, as you know, climbing up these mountains that have never been on film before in Scotland that look absolutely incredible, and I was like, approach like the tourism industry, be like, look, we're showcasing Scotland, bits that have never been on film before. And it just seemed like closed doors everywhere.
It's less of a story than flying in Samuel L. Jackson and him being in Glasgow for a week. That's easier to sell papers. Sell papers.
George Clooney comes to West Lothian for the jacket or some shit like that. And it's like, okay.
I think all we can keep doing is like what you demonstrated with your story, is you keep putting yourself in rooms with people and see who can help each other and network like fuck.
It's shite being Scottish.
At least we're all in it together, eh? So,
well, that's what I think is exciting. Like now, like compared to what I've been making movies 20 years now. So like back when I started, no, everybody could get an edit suite. An edit suite would be something that you had to book and pay for because it was like a lot to edit. And now it's like, no, you've got a fucking MacBook now and you can edit. Or camera work is like, so my camera at the moment, I've got a 14-year-old Nikon camera with great lenses. So it gives me like a very art house look at a very cheap. I say the lenses aren't that cheap, but like 150, 250 little lens, prime lenses. But I get a look now that I'm like, right, that would have been impossible 20 years ago.
No,
do you know
totally.
what I mean?
We've got drones and gimbals and stuff like that.
Yeah. What do you think the first movie was to have a drone in it?
It'd have to be Michael Bay, wouldn't it?
Lahane, I think.
Was that a drone? We talked about that.
Oh shit, aye.
It's a terrible fucking drone nonetheless.
Yeah, well, we talked about it because it was in a previous episode. Well, maybe it's a future episode, but anyway, we talked about it, and I was talking about that particular shot, saying how the fuck did they do that? Did they have it on a pole? Did they have it on a kite? Did they? Because drones wouldn't have been invented.
I just assumed it'd be a helicopter, right?
But it's right in the like it's so low in the buildings. It comes out from the window when the guy's DJing.
Yeah. Did I mention this the other time in the future we talked about? It's like the opening shot of Highlander. Do you remember that?
Oh yeah, that's a great shot. Yeah, like in the wrestling.
The wrestling arena. Does it start with him or does it go to him?
It goes to him, but it kind of cuts. There's a flash, and then there's like a cut into. So he's not in Madison Square Gardens or wherever it is they're filming, but I think that's a helicopter shot.
Is it?
I think.
Or is the arena open air? Like?
I always assumed it had to be like.
But does it not get like super close to the crowd? And like, surely you.
I think that's sound. So when you watch it, the way the sound comes in and out, it makes you feel like you're getting closer than you are, and I think it's just good sound design.
Right.
And then, like I say, if he uses the flash to jump in. And that kind of sells the illusion that the camera comes right in.
Right.
The most underrated aspect, sound.
Yeah.
It's just the most. I heard somebody say it's a visual medium, and somebody else done it and then says, no, well, I've never heard somebody come out to the cinema whistling a two-shot.
That's good.
But it's just so subliminal that it's just like, every time I'm in the edit, I think, oh, fuck sound again, fuck sound again, again. And it's like, because I concentrate too much on the camera.
I always say, like, you make the film again with sound. You know, you get in the edit suite and you're like, right, we've made it visually, but now we need to make it with sound. And you'll have to go back out and re-record. Well,
we were really lucky even for Supply and Demand, where obviously the first one wasn't done in a big studio, but the second one I managed to pay for it to go into the studio. So like, the difference between like being in a cinema, like, because it's almost like you devalue the camera if the sound isn't done that. The certain mix and stuff like that, it's like the camera works amazing, but if the audience is fighting tonally for what's going on, do you know what I mean? But it changes. It's like you've got the script, so you've got like one version of the film and then you shoot, and you've got another version of the film and then you edit, and you've got like the other version of the film, and in that sound design thing, it's like your whole film can change. And it's like, fuck me.
That's why I spend a fortune on IMAX. Like, we went to see Dune in IMAX 4 times or something, like the new Dune, because I want to feel that sound. I want to feel the rumble through my belly when I'm watching the film.
You know the guy that did the sound design, Mark Mangini? on June. I just recently discovered this. He re-recorded, the MGM Lion Roar. So he re-recorded that. I can't remember what film it was for, but it was like, it's an early film. It's like Raiders, or no, it wouldn't be Raiders because that's not MGM. But anyway, he listened to it and he was like, "This sounds like ass." He says, "This is just shit. It doesn't. The Lion Roar doesn't have any bite to it or anything." So they went out and he'd done a load of recordings with lions already. He had this library full of lion roars, so they put them all there. And he's like, "It's still not working. It just doesn't feel like scary." Because lions are like, so then he went out and he got tigers and he put a tiger on it. So when you see the MGM Lion Roar, it's a tiger.
It's a tiger.
Deeper from the tiger.
Yeah, it just sounds more ferocious, and you get that kind of like rumble and everything. Yeah.
One of my early films, we recreated that. I hand painted the MGM thing, but it was my old series, Mad Footage, but cut out, and we took turns. we behind the thing. We all took spats, hot knives.
Relevant.
Yeah.
So and like it was my flatmate Rick. He got there's loads of us done it.
Still recording.
There's like loads of us done it, and we're like, see who does the best one. But he took this monster, and he's just like, instead of the roar, it's just him like, and like just jets of smoke coming out his nose. Oh, it's priceless.
Oh, we need to get that for the Square Go ident. That would be tremendous.
I also done it with a cat. My cat, a green screened her.
Yeah.
Solid. It's so hard to do with the cat. But cats or spats. There we go.
Well, on that note, we'll wrap it up.
Typical end.
Hopefully, in this episode, you've got some recommendations of films to watch while you maybe partake in your favourite kind of relaxation activity. I won't advocate for anything in particular. Nothing else. Big thanks to Gary again for joining us on the episode.
It was great to speak to you way back the last time.
Yeah. Thanks for coming all the way over again.
Yep, you're welcome.
And tune in next time. Thank you. Peace.
All right.
That was good.
That was good, like.